and check the questions. So let me show you first about the Canva plans. Now the Canva plans. So there's basically 3 plans. I honestly, enterprise, I would just focus on free and pro. There is a free plan of Canva that they've added a lot of things to. You can see templates, and I'll show you about the templates in a minute. I'm on the pro plan, and for basically $120 a year, and you do get a little break if you pay yearly. If you do monthly, it goes up a little bit more. But you get tons of things like a brand kit. I'll show you that in a minute. But you can do magic resize, 420,000 free templates with new designs daily, stock photos, videos, music. Again, I'm not trying to sell you on Canva. I just use Canva. It is one of those tools I use to create all of my graphics, my thumbnails, my logos. I create other graphics in there. This graphic was created in Canva, and once we go in it, you're going to see it in a minute. This graphic was created in Canva. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about this. Create amazing graphics with Canva. And ladies and gentlemen, that was done in Canva. So let's dive into it. Let's take a look at it. Now, right now, this is my Canva dashboard. So if you sign up, and again, if you don't use it, I would recommend at least just signing up for a free account. There is a link down in the description. If you want to use it, that's fine. If you sign up, it's an affiliate link. I may make a little extra change or something like that, but there's no extra cost to you. And that's the beauty with affiliate marketing, which is also one of the things I covered in the video I dropped called 9 Ways for Content Creators to Make Money. I'd love you to check that out. And by the way, at this broadcast right now, I am this close to 3,000 subscribers. So if you want to subscribe, that's great. Don't do it just because of that. Hopefully you subscribe and like this video if it's helping you in any way. So when you get there, this is what you're going to see. Now I'm going to go full screen here so you can see a little bit more. Now, so basically, when you sign in and you get your account, this is what it's going to look like. Now there is a mobile version of StreamYard. Let me just say this. There is a mobile app, not of StreamYard. There's a mobile app of Canva. I'm not a fan of the mobile app. It's okay. Some mobile apps are great and some are just okay. I think it's okay. I much prefer a desktop, laptop monitor and stuff like that, especially when you get into graphics. I just think it's easier to run with it. So I'm just mentioning that in case you wonder, there is one. And by the way, if you have any questions at all about anything I'm going to show or do, drop them in the comments. And once I get done showing you some stuff, I'll go and see if there's any questions or anything like that too. So when you log in, this is what you're going to see. You've got 2 things: create design. I usually just jump right here. And then I type in, a lot of times I'm typing in YouTube, and you see it's kind of like search in YouTube. It starts going, okay, you're interested in YouTube probably. What are some of the things you create? We're not going to get into that right now. But you can also do here. So, I want to show you this right here. So if you notice, you can make presentations in here. And I'll tell you right now, every presentation I make is in Canva. Social media. So if you were doing Instagram stories, a Facebook post, Instagram post, all my cover art is done in here. And you can see there's a lot of, and these are templates. And what's really cool about the templates, guys, is that you can break them and use them, or you can start blank. A lot of times I start blank with a blank page. Now, sometimes in my presentations, I'll start with a template, and it may not even be a template that makes sense. I used a template once that was for, I don't know, a music business, but then I liked the visuals on it, so I adapted it to a presentation I was doing on video podcasting. So let your imagination, your creativity go crazy when you're using Canva, and it's just amazing what you can do. Other things, video. I don't know if you knew this or not, but Canva has video built into it. Now, believe it or not, The quick little animation I did to start this, create amazing graphics, was done in Canva, and that was actually not. We animated a still graphic, and I'm going to show you exactly how you can do that. It's pretty cool. You can print products, marketing pieces, and logos. Every one of my logos has been designed. Every one of my logos and client logos. If I design anything for a client, they're done in here. Office stuff, a lot more. So one of the things too is that when you use Canva, there's so many things you can do with it. So, like, I use Final Cut Pro, and there's a plugin company I use software called Motion VFX, and there's links to that down in the description. I love it. Great plugins. You can create some stuff. Well, a lot of times I need to create a graphic to work with the plugin. So I'll hop in Canva, I'll create the graphic, and then I'll upload it to Final Cut Pro, and then I'll animate it that way. So again, there's so many things here you can do, but you'll notice over here all your designs. So these are designs that I've done over time, different times. You can see my thumbnail. So like this is actually the thumbnail for this week's video about making money. This was an alternate I did. And sometimes I A/B test things like that. This is the graphic for today's show. This is the one I first started, and then I realized it looked like I was about making thumbnails, so I changed it to this one, which I can show you how I made that. Believe it or not, very, very simple. Here we go. This is the one I'm so close to using. There's my logo. If you saw the last live stream, if you didn't, it's still up about Facebook's social audio. This is that one. Let me go back to here just a little so I can see you a little bit. This is my YouTube cover art. I'm just showing you some of the things I've made. This was a video I did on embracing change, and I did 2 different thumbnails. And a quick note about another program I use that I'll probably do another dive in on a different live stream, and it's TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is an amazing tool. It's a plugin. It works with YouTube, and it's what I've used to grow my YouTube channel. There is a free version of it, and there's also a paid version. I'm on the paid version, but one of the things they have is you can do thumbnail A/B testing. And so sometimes I've done, so like this one, I did these 2 for that. Again, on and on and on. There's all my logos, different variations I've done, headshots. I don't like I put pictures in of me for no reason. A lot of different things. In fact, there's the beginning of this one so I'm just showing you all that things shared with you. Brand kit. So on the paid plan, I have my brand colors in. I have logos that I use. These are fonts. These are fonts I've bought. Content planner. This is something fairly new that you can actually create and schedule your stuff straight from Canva. So for example, I could create a week's worth of Instagram posts and schedule them right from here. All I would do is connect it to my Instagram account. That's pretty cool. You can have a team folder, so you can create folders. I have folders of thumbnail poses, ebook covers, logos, and stuff like that. It's very cool. So let me show you. I'm going to go back to here because I just want to show you. So I'm going to show you the animation that you see on the screen, and here it is right here. Now, if you noticed, it animated, very simple, and then it went back to us. So this is that graphic right here. So I'm going to kind of deconstruct it. So I'm going to show you how I did this. So this is a background that I came over to here. Now, if you notice all the way over here, let me change this to full screen so you can see more. So if you notice over here, you've got templates, uploads, photos, elements, text, styles, audio, no, videos, backgrounds, and folders again. And then they have a lot of other things too. All of these are free. And some of them I use and some of them I don't, but you get the idea. Uploads. This is anything you've uploaded. So here's like some of that Monopoly money that I was using for that thumbnail. This is the screenshot I did of the Canva plans that we ended up using just a second ago. So, and here's the other thing too, and I think this is actually pretty cool. You can touch up photos. In fact, I'm going to go back to this screen, create a design. This is something fairly new, edit photo. And I used to use another program called PicMonkey just for that. And I liked it, but I didn't like some of the graphic things, and Canva is far, far better. I think it works for me, so I didn't keep both. And did a photo shoot the other day with my beautifully rocking daughter, and I brought the pictures into Canva and edited them. So that is another option you have, which to me is kind of sweet. So, and again, if you have any questions about what we're talking about, let me know. So here's the animation I showed you. Now, when you start, this is kind of the default. A lot of times I close this just so I have a bigger palette to work with. But if you notice, so this background, I'm going to show you right here is a photo. There it is right there. So let's just start. I'm going to do an add a page. This is the photo I started with. So all I did is I made it bigger. Again, you don't have to. You don't have to at all. Now, I'm not going to remove the background. So there is a remove background feature on Canva, and it's so good. It's so good. But if you, here we go. So you can do anything you want. You can expand it. A lot of times what I do is if I want to go beyond the canvas here, you can control the size of it right here. You can make it bigger. So just for laughs, we'll do that. All right. And then I'm going to shrink it back down to where we're seeing that one right there. All right. And I'll tell you why this is important in just a second if you're doing thumbnails. So just remind me about that. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. So then what I did, now keep in mind, here it is. And you go, well, what about the color? So I came over here and you see this, you have a lot of different options. Well, I went to effects. Now, again, all of these effects are available. You have to activate them. I started to say download. You're not really downloading them. You have to activate them. But if you noticed, which one did I put on this one? So let's just pick one. So you have all these options. So here's the ones I haven't even tried yet. So you can do photogenic, which is the photogenic is so good for the photos. So good. They have so many options of going in and tweaking photos, smart mockups, and on and on and on. So let's just say we want to make this one look like whatever that is, rerun. Bad, they call it bad TV. Now you can see them all if you wanted to. So we'll go with warp. Warp kind of looks cool. All right. So if you want that, you apply it. Now they've also got here. So I've applied that and we're done with that. So we're going to leave that alone for now. But let's say it's kind of bright. I go here to adjust. Now keep in mind that one's got that color right there. So what I did was I just cranked the X process up. I moved the brightness down a little. You can mess with the contrast if you want to. Again, it's totally up to what you want to do. You can take the saturation down. You can even blur it. So let's just say this one we're going to blur just a little, right? We'll leave it like right there. So then I just added text. So since I have the brand kit, these were always, so my heading, the font I use a lot is called Intro Rust. What I use on most of my thumbnails. It's always going to come with add a heading. You have a lot of these you can use, but let's just say this is going to be called cool. Actually, here's what we're going to do. So I'm going to make that white. You go up here, text color. Now, again, here are my brand colors. You can make any color you want in here. So let's say we want to make it white, but if you want to dial it in, you do this. So like I don't have, the hex code I know for yellow is FFF00. So, but I'm just going to make this, and if you notice, it puts it right up here in the palette. I'm just going to make it white for now. It's just going to be easier to see. And I'm going to put it right here. Cool. Now, well, let me do this. So let's say I want to do a second word called just graphics, right? So I could drag this over and retype it, or I could just do copy, paste. You just copy it and put graphics. Now, let's say, and you can move it this way, you can move it this way, you can grab the edge and make it bigger. So let's say though, it's like, well, I don't really like that. I don't like that font. We'll come up here. Now, the fonts that I have bought, I've installed. So all of these are fonts I've bought. I think I bought from a site quite a while back called Pixel Buddha or something like that. But then once you get in here, these are ones that are built in. So let's just come down and we'll just pick one. Let's just pick this. Oh, okay, there we go. Cool graphics. So you notice how it changed it. And let's say you want to change even the cool to, we'll go with Northwester, right? All right, so now we've just changed the font, that easy. Now we're going to go to effects, and this is where it kind of gets cool. You can add drop shadows, and then you can change the color of the drop shadow. Lift is what I use quite a bit, and I usually max it out. And if you notice what's going to happen is, if you notice, watch graphics, it just kind of lifts it. Now you can't change the color of the lift, but to me, what it does is it creates a little separation with the background. You can do splice. You can, again, change the color. Echo. Echo's kind of cool. I tell you what, we'll use echo for that, but we're going to change the color to red so you can see it. All right. Again, and when you're done with what you want, you just click that off. Now, right now, we've got, nothing fancy. We could add things to it if we wanted to. If we wanted to add let's say a line or something behind this, go to elements. And recently used, but let's just say you wanted to use a rectangle, right? Rectangle. You can search for anything. They have rectangles in here. Here's one here. You may say, well, that's a square. You're right, but watch what you can do. So if you notice what I'm doing right there, all I'm doing is resizing it. Now, we're going to make this black. And you may say, you know what? Let's make it red. Just what the heck? I like red. Oh, no, you know what? Never mind. We'll make it black because I forgot we did the red drop shadow. Now, let's say you can't see it, right? Go right up here to position and you go backwards. Oh, it's behind it. And if it's too small, all you got to do is this and this and this, and all of a sudden it's there. And we're going to leave this one alone. We're going to give this one a different edge, though. Let's do, yeah, we'll do that. And you can change the colors here if you want. But we're just going to leave it for sake of argument. So right now, that's what that one's going to do. But let's say I want to animate this. Because keep in mind, this one is animated, right? So I tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to make a copy of all this. So here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to make a copy. And now I'm working off the copy. It says copy of create. I'm going to delete that one. So we're just going to work with this one right here. And now let me show you a little trick too. If I move graphics, it's going to take it off the back plate. I'm going to undo that. So you have two options. I can do this. Notice I just kind of got outside of it, did that, and it moves the back plate with it. But now that I've got it together, you can go up here and do group. And look at this. It's always going to stay with it. And if you don't want it anymore, you just ungroup, right? And if I wanted to do, in fact, I'll do ungroup to show you this. If I wanted to do cool with it, let's say I wanted cool right here and I never wanted it to move, kind of, I think in some programs they call that lassoing, group, and now watch. And you can save this and come back, and that little function will always be there. I'm going to, I think, change the color. Oh yeah. I'm liking that. I'm liking that a little bit. Yeah, we'll just add a little flash of color. Again, you can do this. And what I really love about Canva is that even though we're going to animate this, I'm going to show you, we're going to animate just like that, how simple it is. And this will be a full screen animation. By just doing that and saving it off, you could come back another day. Let's say you really like this template. You could come back another day and just use the background and change it up to just say you wanted to make this the title of your YouTube series and you were doing a whole series of stuff. So you can create your own templates that you come back and use over and over and over again. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So let me show you how we're going to animate this. We're going to come up to this. Now, neon is one of those I've already used, but right here, it typically will say that. All right, look at that. So it's already animating. There's block, breathe, fade. Actually, I'm clicking on it by just rolling over it. So if we just keep it on none, there's rise, tumble. Now, if you notice, it's all coming in at the same time, right? And that's because I've grouped them. So we're going to turn animation off. Remember, it's grouped. I'm going to ungroup it. And I'm going to ungroup. Is this one ungrouped? Yep, I'm going to ungroup that one. Now we're going to go back to animate. Now watch what will happen. Oops. Here we go. Now go back to animate. So by ungrouping it, now the text, the two lines animate separately. So just keep that in mind if you have everything grouped. But isn't that cool? So the one I used on today's graphic, I'm just going to show them all to you. So basically any element you have will animate. And it doesn't, and I'm doing this to a full screen graphic. You don't have to just do full screen graphic. Baseline, pop. I like pop a lot. Neon is what I used. I like the flicker. So, and there's scrapbook. So let's just do pop. And then, so one of the things, one of the things you can do is, now there's music in here. I think there's sound effects. There may just be music. A lot of times what I've done is, like I did something last year for, I did a special live for Black Friday deals. So I created the full screen animation in here, took it into Final Cut Pro, and then I use story blocks. I use story blocks for my music and my stock footage and my images. So I found a really cool sound effect stinger, and then I married it with it. Could have done it in here. I just didn't like what I was hearing. So again, you can do a little in Canva, or you can use pieces and parts and take somewhere else. So here's what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. So let's just say we're going to go with that. Now you can change the timing. We're going to leave it at 5 seconds, but you can go as long as you want. And we're just going to leave it at 5. And so what happens is, this means that it's going to animate, and then it's going to animate, and the animation, I mean, the video clip rather, will last for 5 seconds. So we're going to just call this cool. It doesn't really matter. Now we're going to go export it, and I'm actually going to bring this in and show you just what we just made, because I don't think it's just to show you here and go, yeah, but how did it work? So you have all these options. You want to save the, in this case, I'm going to save this as an MP4 video. And it shouldn't take very long to download. So while it's doing that, and then when it downloads, it's going to ask where you want to save it. You can save it wherever. I just did that. So I'm saving it to my desktop. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a video clip. What do we call it? Cool. And it's uploading right now to my StreamYard there's a section called video clips. And check this out. In just a second, it'll be there. And I'll show you what we just created. And that's how simple it is to create. All right, here it is. You ready? Now keep in mind, we didn't add any music or anything like that. It's that simple. So in just a few minutes, we created a really cool full screen animated graphic in Canva. Now, the difference between, you remember earlier when I showed you the different plans on Canva, there is something on the Pro plan you get, and it's being able to export it as a PNG with a transparent background. What do I mean? So this graphic right here, let me show you this graphic in here. So we're going to go back to all my designs. Here's the graphic right here. Now, if you notice, it looks just like it's on a white background. But that's a little deceiving, because what I've done is, again, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to pop it up. So you notice how it's got the white bar at the bottom, right? So, and this is how I did this. You could do it anyway. So if you notice right here, see how that outline creates that? Well, all that is an element. I think it was this one I put there, and then it's a square, and then I just resized it, and I made it a white color. But just to show you it's there, there's that. There's gray. You start seeing it. Now, the font is black. So this is the Buy Me a Coffee logo. This is an element that came from Canva under elements. All I did was type in, there we go, an @ sign. In fact, if I do that right here, look at all the different options you have. Some of these you can change the color, some you can't. And if you notice right here, it'll tell you Pro. So if you're on the free plan, you can't use it. If you're on the Pro plan, you get everything. But again, just showing you what I did, I'm changing the color background. It's very easy. I went with white. But if you notice something right here, and this is something fairly new, so when you add a graphic, it's picking up the colors of the graphic. So I could actually make it that color. Now, if I do, it kind of looks like the coffee's not all the way full. But here's how I got this. Now, if you notice, let me go here full screen. If you notice that right here, it's solid from here down, right? And I'm going to show you how we do that. So I'm going to turn this off, because this is what can throw people a lot. So when you go to download this, and this is how you can make just some killer graphics, some amazing graphics for your live streams, for your video productions, for anything, right? When you go to export this, oops, see, I just messed up. So that one's not going to work. So when you go to export this, you want to choose PNG. And this is the important part, transparent background. And by clicking that, what this does is it turns all of this blank. So then I'm not going to download it because I've already downloaded it. So what happens is then when I bring that in, everything above that is transparent. So actually, this is just the graphic with the transparent background. And that's what's really cool. So I'll show you one other thing, and then I'll jump in to see if anybody's got any questions or not. Well, I'll tell you what, before I get over there, let's see if you guys are liking this. Yeah, Eddie's saying, I recommend using Canva for my desktop laptop. Yeah, I agree. Arnava's saying, hey, and we got Baya saying, and I hope I pronounced that right. I apologize. I love Canva. It's the bomb, isn't it? So here's what I typically do. So again, this is what technically is called a lower third. You can call it whatever you want, right? So here's how I start it, and I'll go here again just to show you. I usually start with a presentation, because a presentation is going to be 1920 by 1080, which is the exact size of your screen, right? So when you're shooting landscape video, so if I come in here and I add an element and I want to add a lower third, this is how I do it. I come here and I do this, and I can do this, and you can make it as small as you want, and then I can put the type over it, add heading, and we'll make that white so you can see it. And we're going to bring it right down here, and bang, there it is. And so just like that, I've made a lower third. Well, you say, well, what if you don't want it all the way across? Then you can do that. You can do that. If you want, let's say you want more of a different look, well, you could do a triangle. And let's say you want to make something in the corner like this. Remember, I'm going to go a little, and this will actually rotate it. Ooh, fancy. Now, again, I know this isn't going to be something that we're going to use, but just to show you what you can do. And then I'm going to add this right here. So you have so many options in here. And if you wanted to add a photo, you can. They've got video. So it is just a really cool way of creating graphics for your live stream, graphics over, they're technically called overlays for your production. So even if you're not live streaming and you want to just kind of jazz up some videos and stuff like that, you can create everything in here. Oh, let me show you one other thing. And stay the course, same person with zero budget. Do you know a free online platform to remove background so it's transparent? That is a great question. There is a program called Remove BG. There's a free version of it. I have found it buggy. And then what happens is, unless they've changed this, when you upload a photo, and check it out, it's called, I think it's remove.bg. But when you upload a photo, you tell it to remove the background. It does an okay job, but if you don't pay for it, then they give you a low res quality of it, and it's just not very good. I do believe, and if somebody is, this is wrong, so correct me. I do believe in the Canva plan, you have to be on the paid plan to remove background. I'm not sure. You're also asking, is there a limited number of folders? No. You can have as many as you want. Now, there is a limited number on storage, or a limited amount of storage. I got to be honest, I haven't even got close to that, and I tend to be a cleaner. So I go back in and delete stuff. But let me show you something. And it was a really good question about we'll do background. So I'm going to go back to here, and we're going to create a design. We're going to create a design, and we're going to say YouTube thumbnail. And this is how I do all my thumbnails. And it doesn't really matter what we're going to do, but I'm going to show you how to remove a background. So let's just say we want, I'm going to find a picture that I've shot before. I'll do this one. And this is a lot of times, actually, I'm zooming in. I don't even have to do that. Let's just start fresh. We're going to do that. So go here to effects and remove background. And it's going to do its magic. Now, depending on the lighting on the photo, that's going to take some time. You can remove the background, though, on anything. I've removed the background on a graphic. Bang, just like that. So typically what I would do now, I hit apply, is if I wanted to put it on a background, I use the gradients a lot. So I'll just put it on here. And you can even change the color of a gradient. But I may make it, like this. We'll put it here. I come in here and adjust it a little. I usually really crank up the contrast. I might de-blur it some, just a little, just like that. I might mess with the brightness just a little, and then I can do anything I want. So let's say I want to add, let's say, how to use, and then I'm going to put Canva on here. So I want to put this here, and I want to slide me over. Now, here's another little trick. Is if let's say I've got this photo in the place, I don't want to move it, I can lock it. See this little lock right here? I do this, and it will not move. And a lot of times I will do that if I've got a lot of elements going on and I've got them where I want. So let's say I'm going to use this right here, and I kind of want it to pop a little. So I'm going to put a little rectangle box behind it. I'm not going to worry right now if it's perfect. I'll come over here. I don't like the blue. I'm going to make this black. It's going to pop. And then I'll tell you what, I'm going to make it yellow because I want to show you something here. So we're going to make this yellow, which is, there we go. Oops, I made the wrong thing yellow. So let's go back to white, and now we're going to make the bar yellow because I want to show you something that is kind of cool, and it's kind of a way you can create depth. And now we're going to make the font. All right. So again, remember, we can group it right here, group, and now I'm going to bring it here so it's a little behind my head, and watch this, position backwards. So if you notice, we just gave it a little depth. Now, maybe you don't like that. I mean, it's a little small, but I just want you to see how easy it is to add a little, just, the hair coming over, and say, this is about how to use Canva. You go to elements, and there's logos already in here. Oops, Canva. Now you may say, well, of course, Canva, they own it, but there's already a Canva logo in here. Quit Canva. Maybe we don't like the background because it's kind of competing with that. So we're going to back to backgrounds, and we're going to do, we'll just add a pattern. Bang. Just like that. It's that easy. And now this is the last tip that I was sharing you. So this is huge right now, but remember, and this is where I think a lot of folks forget that thumbnails are thumbnails, right? So we look at it on this huge screen and we go, wow, that looks great. So what I typically do is I shrink it down. There's nothing magic here, to about 25%. And I look at it and go, can I read that? And if it's readable, the colors are popping, everything's readable, then I go with it. But if you can shrink it down that small to a thumbnail and you can't read it, guys, ain't nobody going to read it. And if they can't read it, they can't click it. So if you like it at that point, literally, you download it. I always download as a PNG. A PNG is a higher resolution file than a JPEG. It's also not as big as a JPEG, but if you wanted to do a JPEG, you can do that. You can do so many different things with it. And guess what? We can animate it. There we go. Look at that. So again, and I keep drifting off. It is an absolute amazing program, and it's called Canva. So I hope this kind of inspired you to play with it. Again, if you want to use it for free, try it out for free and just see, there is a link down in the description. Just try it for free and see what you think. And then maybe you want to pay for it. You will get a break if you do annual. I don't know how much of a break. Sometimes it's just a few dollars a month. You have to decide if it's worth it or not. But there's so much you can do to create some amazing graphics for your live stream and your videos and stuff like that. So check it out. And by the way, if you like this, consider subscribing and sharing it with somebody if it made a difference. And when we hit 3,000 subs on this channel, we're going to do a special live stream. Already got a cool little giveaway lined up, and it's just one of those things that I think is really cool. And Stay the Course saying, hey, you appreciate that. Excellent. And appreciate you guys being here. I hope you keep creating and using those gifts, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.